Hi everybody, we're into the second half of September now, which is a great time to go into your garden, have a look around, look at what's done well this year and what's not done well this year. So in this video, I'm going to give you the top 5 things that have done well, the 5 best things that have happened in my garden this year, and the 5 failures. Not maybe disasters, but things that I definitely want to improve on next year. But first, I'll just do a really quick pan around the garden so you can see what it's like on this absolutely beautiful day here in Blackburn, Lancashire. And remember this view because it will sort of feed into one of my points later on. Trying to get there. It's great to have some sun, but it creates havoc for filming sometimes. So that was a quick view of the garden as it looks today. Now let's get on with the top 5 successes. And definitely what's done really well for me this year are Washingtonias. Now I grow these from seed, and I think what I've struggled with in the past is finding pots or actually having the discipline to pot on plants and give them a big enough pot. So I've really done that this year and they've rewarded me with some really strong growth. I'll just separate one from the crowd here so we can have a quick look. But yeah, it's a really nice size. Try and get my shadow out of the shot. Really nice size. There's some even bigger ones in here. There's one with a huge trunk back there and a massive leaf. So they've done really well. Very pleased with those. And I've also got a few planted out. These have done equally well. Well, perhaps not equally well. They could have done with a bit more warmth, but very well indeed. This is looking fantastic. This one in this pot, carrying lots of leaves. And I think having a dark coloured pot is a really good idea for growing temperature sensitive palms like this one, where the sun heats up that pot, heats up the root system and encourages growth. It seems to have grown a lot faster than this one that's actually planted essentially in the ground. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that after years of failing with bananas, Musa Basjou, I finally found a way of making it work. And look at the pristine leaves on this Musa Basjou. Not one of them is ripped, not even the older ones. There's a really old one there, it's not even ripped. And the reason is it's in quite a sheltered position. Now the downside of that obviously is it is too close to that Trachycarpus to appreciate, but that is the way to grow them in my garden, because the alternative, what I've had for years and years, is a really tatty, battered looking Musa Basjou. And this is in the raised bed, and I've said it before, but I'll say it once more. Because it's raised up almost a metre really, it's just even more exposed to the wind, which is its arch nemesis. So what I'm going to do next year is actually move that clump, plant it somewhere more sheltered. It's a nice roller on that, isn't it, coming out top there. I've experimented this year by planting lots of new plants along the front of the border. One of them has done really well, that's the Colocasia Pink China. Got some decent sized leaves on here now. I know many of you who grow these will think that's a tiny leaf, but for the first year in the ground, I think that's doing pretty well. It's also got some runners going off there, one going that way, one going the other way, one heading towards the grass, which I'm going to take off. And one going that way as well, along there. So starting to spread, which is exactly what I want it to do. Number 4, and it's a bit of an odd one perhaps, but I've got some really good pumpkins this year. This one, there's my hand for comparison. It's massive. I've got another one over here. Bit of an oddly shaped one, this one, but that kind of gives it a bit more charm, doesn't it? And lastly, a tiny one over here, which isn't very exciting. I wouldn't class this as a success. It's not a successful pumpkin, is it? But I think the leaves are way past their best. You can see they've sort of completely gone away here, these leaves. But they look quite cool because they're so big. They do look cool when they're grown, and definitely fit in with the tropical theme, as do, I think, and several people agree with me, a gigantic fruit. So yeah, that's definitely been a success, and I'll be doing that again next year. And finally, the fifth success is this row of pots that I've installed on the patio. I think it looks really good. I think they really blend into each other nicely. There's still a bit too much of the same shade of green. Maybe these three are too similar in colour, but where there's some variegation or some pink colour, then I think that blends together really nicely. Try and get a shot in correct lighting. So you sat down at this table and you're looking over there. It looks fantastic. I think that view looks pretty cool as well. And from here, we're looking over there. So you're nicely surrounded in this room that I've created here now. Okay, so those are the successes that I've had in my garden this year. I'm really pleased with those. Now, here come the failures, the things I'm not so happy with and things I want to change for next year. First one is, although these are beautiful flowers, I've still not got flowers right in my garden. It's something I've really struggled with. These ones, for example, are just too tall, they're too floppy. They need to be within a border, not in a small raised bed like that, or a narrow raised bed, I should say. Can you see all the flowers along here? No, me neither. I've planted loads. You can see the odd one if you look very closely, but the en masse flower scheme that I was going for just really hasn't happened. And there's things like the lily here, which look fantastic, for a month or so, and the crocosmia look good for maybe a month. But the longevity of flowering is something that I really want to create but haven't managed to yet. So that is my biggest failure. Despite planting, I don't know, over 100 plants, flowering plants, I've still not achieved that. It's still very green, not a lot of colour in the garden. Next up is the congestion of this raised bed, in this area in particular, this corner here. So you can't really tell, but there's a Washingtonia in there somewhere. There's a Phoenix canariensis, Canary Line date palm in there. Again, you hardly know. I needn't have bothered planting that. That's not really adding anything there. I've got this onset banana, which is actually looks really impressive. It's really bulked up nicely. That was just a tiny plant at the start of the year. And then with the pumpkins and a few flowers that I've put in there which haven't really worked, the whole area just looks a bit cluttered. So what I'm going to do about that is, well, the banana probably won't go back there because that's coming out. The Canary Line date palm and the Washingtonia will probably die over winter. The Mousse de Bajou is going to come out to plant, at the back of a border or something, somewhere a bit more sheltered. So I'm just going to free up this area next year, and I think less is more. There's a cordyline in there as well, which is beautiful, but you can't even see it there. So that's definitely something I've I'm going to work on next year is less cluttered raised beds. Third on the list is all the Crocosmia, and I've actually taken away a lot of it, so makes this point hard to prove. But for those of you that saw my garden maybe a month ago, it was just full of this Crocosmia, which looks great when it's flowering, but it's actually taken over the entire border here, all the way up to this bamboo, all the way back over here up to this bamboo here. So, and there's probably like 10 square meters where it's just taken over. It's become a bit of a thug. What I'm doing is, what I've already done is cleared this area here, for example, just by pulling away. This time of year, if you want some Crocosmia to come out, you can just grab a few bits like that and pull it up. And if you get the bulbs with the roots like that, then that's that plant taken care of. If it comes off like that, where actually the bulb is still in the ground, that'll probably grow back, unfortunately. So what I'm thinking is, if I pull a load out, then some of it will survive, some of it will die, so that'll probably thin it out nicely. Okay, fourth on the list is this Phormium in this planter. Now this planter's looking a bit worse for wear, isn't it? It's a pig, but it's quite big. It's got a decent sized pot, effectively, but this Phormium just isn't happy in there for some reason. Whether it struggles to hold moisture because water just runs out the bottom of the pot, I don't know. Perhaps I should have something in there that likes a bit more, something free draining. But actually what I'm going to do is take this out of this pot, put it in a normal pot, and put this in the skip. And finally, my last failure for this year, and you need to look all around really, because it's the overall look of the garden. It's still not exactly what I want. What I'm going for really is some structure. So I don't want jungle planting. That's no good to me, because I want them spread out a bit more. I want to be able to see individual plants, but I want lots of color. I don't just want 50 shades of green. And it has been described before as what I'm after, a sort of 5-star hotel in the Mediterranean, or the Caribbean, or somewhere just really nice manicured gardens is what I'm after. These Christmas trees aren't helping. The apple tree is probably not helping, to be honest. But just generally, I need to, like for example here, this Trachycarpus looks brilliant because it's got some space to do its thing. And that looks fantastic. But other bits like over here, there's nothing particularly tropical over here, but also it's just all blended together. So definitely I've reached a stage, which we all reach, I think, where we need to start thinning things out. So that is another failure, and something that I'm going to do a bit more of next year. So there we go. That's the top 5 things for my garden this year. And of course, the 5 worst things, the things I need to work on for next year. Let me know if you've got a list. I would very much recommend going out into your garden at this time of year, taking a slow walk around, looking at what's worked and what you need to improve. And there will always be something to improve, I'm sure. So that's all from me today. Thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are.